So, behaviour change. Now, behaviours and habits are very easily formed and very difficult to break because there's often a huge psychosocial aspect to any forming of behaviours. These can be along the psycho side of things rather than the social side of things, the psychological side of things. It can be because there is emotion linked with those behaviours. So some people will drink because they're sad or depressed. Some people will drink to numb pain, both physical and emotional pain. And some of it is social. Some of it is the fact, and I've noticed it a lot since I've stopped drinking, everything revolves around a drink. You have a nice family meal, glass of wine. Your friends suggest you go bowling, order the beers into the lane, go for a kickabout, and then once we're finished, we'll meet back up at the pub. Everything revolves around drinking in our culture. So that again plays into the difficulty of changing a behaviour. So the first thing that I'm going to suggest to anyone who's trying to follow and pick up any tips that I'm alluding to along the way is what I'm going to be doing. Now, I said about setting a baseline with your food. You can set a baseline when it comes to anything that you're trying to change by finding the pattern. So if you keep a food diary and you work out on average throughout the days that you are consuming 2,500 calories per day and your weight has stayed constant, that's your baseline. Okay, we now know, take calories away, burn calories off, you're going to lose weight. Add calories on, reduce your activity level, you're going to put on weight. Now, the same can be said for alcohol addiction, for smoking, for any of the other vices that you're trying to control, and that is keep a diary. So what I am doing from this point, and I've got another counselling session on Thursday, which we will be going over the results of, and I will feed those back to you. As I said, I'm trying to be as frank and open with a lot of this as I can. So keeping an emotions diary. When you've craved a drink, what mood are you in? Is it because you feel particularly happy? You think, yay, celebration, I'm going to have a drink. Do you feel really sad and low and think, do you know what, fuck it, I want a drink? Same with smoking, same with anything else. Okay, so what I'm going to post up in the comments section, and I'm going to post up on my Facebook, and I don't know where else I can post it. Like I said, I'm a little bit of a technophobe. I'm going to post up that you can actually use yourself an emotions wheel and an emotions diary, but you can adapt that. If that's a food diary, use the same wheel. So when you ate that bar of chocolate, how are you feeling? Did you feel particularly happy and you're going to go and have a bit of chocolate to elevate that mood even further? Did you feel sad? Did you feel lonely? So we can start to make a link. Are you an emotional eater? Are you an emotional smoker? Are you an emotional drinker? Or is it purely social? Are you in the cinema? Everyone's having some popcorn. You want some popcorn. Okay, so this is what we're going to do to start to learn what your behaviours are. Because until we know what your behaviours are, we can't change them. Okay, the behaviour side of things is really important, and I'm going to touch on this a little bit further along the line when we start to then going into what we can actually put in place, behaviour, a little bit of CBT work of how we're going to change those behaviours. But there's a great quote, I think it's by Albert Einstein, which is the definition of madness. I think it was the definition of madness or definition of stupidity, is to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. Okay, so to do the same thing in the same way and expect a different result. The sentiment is the same. If what you're doing at the moment isn't working, it needs to change. Simple as. That is it. What we need to find is what you're doing at the moment, what is leading on to the behaviours that you want to change. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there for today. I'm going to post those up if you want to use them. Just keep a record and you'll find it's interesting from a food point of view, from any other behaviours that you're trying to change. How are you actually feeling when you do that? When you go for a cigarette, how do you feel afterwards? Did you go, oh, I needed that. I feel fantastic. Or do you actually come in and go, do you know what? That's made me feel shit. I didn't enjoy that. Did you reach for a bar of chocolate because you've had a really bad day at work? Or are you having a drink in the pub because you haven't seen your mates for a while and it's a social thing? So that's all I want to ascertain in the next gap between videos. I'll try not to leave it so long this time. Hopefully you guys have been keeping abreast of my journey in terms of what I've done. Body fat's coming down, I'm feeling good. And I've committed to do a marathon, which is going to be hard work. If you check out on my Facebook page, I've got a Just Giving page. So if you can check out my YouTube channel, subscribe, like, share, go to my Just Giving page, because the more money raised, the more incentive it gives me to actually crack on with things. And another family member of mine, sadly last week, passed away from a stroke. So it is something that is close to my heart. My granddad died of a stroke, and my mum's auntie passed away last week from a stroke. So it is something that's close to my heart, and I will finish the marathon depending on what time I do it in. Might not be quite as an amazing feat, but I will get round by hook or by crook, even if I have to do roly-polies across the line. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll post another video as soon as possible. Thanks, bye.